Now, earlier this morning, I was feeling, not too long ago actually, feeling quite sad about how many of us have had our lives pretty much screwed up. I'm not going to say destroyed, but pretty much really screwed up by these toxic people. I think I'm going to just stick to toxic people, or try to at least, because the cluster Bs, I've said it in a video, I don't know which one I'll put up first, that the people that I've known, weren't diagnosed, but their behaviors were just stood out there. They kind of blend, mixed between these cluster Bs. It's like they took some from each one or something. And yeah, so I just stick to toxic people. But our lives have been so, screwed up. Like I said, I want to say destroyed, because we still have our lives and we can still get better and we can still process through this and, go on living healthy and happy lives and all. So it's not completely destroyed, but up until this point it may have been, And I was seriously just feeling sad and thinking about why does it continue to go on? And one thing keeps coming to my mind, and it has for many years now, and especially recently it's arisen, come up again, and that is because of what they teach, starting in grade school. Okay, or they don't teach anymore, I should say. And it was, now, I have, my bachelor's degree is a double major in psychology and sociology. And after I got that, years later, I thought about getting a teacher certification in either psychology or sociology, just one or the other or both. And I had known that they had that option for many years in, colleges, universities, not colleges, but universities, here in Texas, and I think other states too, because I took classes, I moved around a lot, I took classes in other states also, colleges and universities. But anyway, they had that, you could get your teacher certification with that psychology or sociology. Okay, and it wasn't under social science or something like, else. It was psychology or sociology. And around the year 2000, maybe a little bit after that, they took both of them off. There was no option to get a teacher certification in either one of them. So I called schools, the ISD, the different ISDs in Texas, and asked why. And they said, we no longer teach those classes. They fall under, it was something else, I don't remember. And we don't need teachers with certification in those fields anymore, because we don't teach it at all or anymore. Was the kind of answer. Okay, and after hearing that so much, I became rather upset. And of course my mind goes to this, what some might call a conspiracy theory. I don't care if you do or not. Of that they wanted to take these out. Now, I was a career student, remember. I didn't stop at bachelor's degree. No, I kept going. And the thought was, in my mind then, that what they're doing is taking out coursework in schools, like especially it would mainly be middle school and high school, that would teach people how to think. Okay? And that is what psychology and sociology do. They help people to think, to teach them to think, to learn how to think, process, to be critical over what you hear, and don't just accept what somebody tells you, but to use your critical thinking to see, do you accept what is right and wrong, and why is it right and wrong? Okay, right or wrong. So they want to take those out. Why? Now remember, I'm Texan, I live in Texas, and where I checked on this mainly was in Texas. And just because I'm Texan, don't make an assumption. It would be really wrong. So yeah, I was pretty ticked off, and I still am to this day, that they don't need this kind of thing in school. They don't need it, really. Children shouldn't be taught how to think critically. They should be taught how to think about concepts, about people, about society, their whole social world, about how the mind works, the disorders, the dysfunction. No, they shouldn't be taught that. They don't need that. Wrong. Okay, so yeah, this is something I feel rather passionate about. And my thought was the result of this is going to be what we're seeing today. What we're really seeing today. Okay, now this was, like I said, probably, say around 15 years ago or so. These are kids growing up, getting out of school, whatever, and they've never learned anything about society. They've never learned anything about mental disorders, psychology, anything, because they didn't have to. They didn't need to, according to the school district. Don't need to. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I cannot say who told me this or who told me that. It was so long ago, but it was more than one, and I was just so disgusted with that. I'm disgusted with it. You still see they don't have that. Okay, and who needs to be teaching these kids? It doesn't need to be the internet. Okay, because we all know you can get on YouTube, Twitter, any of these social media. I don't want to pick on any of them, and you can see misinformation. You can just see it anywhere on Google something, and anywhere you get all this misinformation. And where are these kids getting it from then? If they're even curious, if they even have the questions in their mind to be able to ask the appropriate questions to find the appropriate answers, or inappropriate answers, as the case may be. So yeah. Okay. Some here, of course, is something what people might say that they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't be told. But some people say this is an example of why they should. Last night was the 4th of July. Okay. A fireworks display nearby. And we were sitting, in the back of our Adams SUV where we lived, watching the display. The neighbor apparently had I'm guessing it was their grandchildren. I didn't know they had grandchildren that age, and they were probably, I don't know, they were younger than 10, I would think, a little bit. There was 2 of them, 2 boys. And they had those little, they were outside too, they were on the opposite side of the road, and he has a van, and they were getting on top of the van. And they had those little things that you throw and it pops, and they were throwing them in our direction. And I was verbal about it, nice, but verbal. And the man that lives there, and the wife, husband and wife, they were standing out there and they didn't care. They did not care at all. And they heard me because the kids heard me. I wasn't yelling at them. I wasn't doing anything, just pointing out that, no, you shouldn't be doing that. I wasn't saying any name. And kids did not care. Grandparents did not care. And why did they not care? Okay, now at least they were out there with these kids, at least. That brings me to the next one. The house on the other side of them. And once again, it's been, people moved, sold the house. I don't think they sold it. I think that somebody owns it, and they were renting, which is very unusual because they don't really like, the HOA doesn't like houses to be rented out there. And it may have been sold again, I don't know. But there was somebody out there. They had 2 very young kids. I'm talking very young. I think one of them was maybe 2 years old, 3 years old. And I was walking and I saw the kids, so I turned around, if I had the dogs with me. And but one may have been like maybe 5. And I didn't see anybody out there watching them, okay? And Adam, at a different time in the day, he saw the same thing. He mentioned it to me, what he saw. Now, where are you going to learn that is not good this day and age? That is not good, really, at all, to leave little kids outside and unsupervised. Where are you going to learn stuff like that if your own parents don't teach you? When you're young and you need to be informed of these things, you learn these things in school, okay? And who teaches them? Who teaches that kind of thing? It depends really where you live, but it would be a teacher here. I would say it would have been a psychology teacher or a sociology teacher, but they don't have them anymore. Like I'm talking about, like I'm ranting about, really. And, of course, there's health sciences and social studies, but I don't think they even have social studies anymore. I need to check on that. And I was informed by a professor. I asked her, she was in social studies, and she said it's not the same as sociology, that a lot of people differ with their opinion on that, and I certainly did too. But it requires a whole lot more than any other that I, checked out to be certified in social studies. A whole lot more classes. I was a career student. I was still going to take classes just in social studies. And I had all those classes, yeah. But anyway, somebody would teach them. Somebody would give them that's appropriate teaching, for that age group. They are certified to teach these topics. When I taught sociology in college and university, I had to teach things like human sexuality, about STDs, about hormones, topics that are generally taboo. But of course I had to, teach them from a textbook, from, textbooks that have appropriate, they're appropriate. Yeah. I'm starting to cough. But research behind them, appropriate research. And for teaching those, and that's what it would be for kids in school, because a lot of people don't go past high school. That's their option, that whatever they decided to do. I'm not a snob. I don't think everybody has to have a degree, and I just wanted one. I've got more than one, but anyway, like I said, career student. And I just couldn't stop for a long time. I just kept going on and on, like I'm doing on this video, right? Yeah. Okay, so this morning I've gone from being sad about it to mad about it, to rhyme a little bit. But yeah, do people even realize that this has happened? If it weren't for me checking on it, because I was wanting years ago, this is many years ago, to get a teacher certification in either one of them, okay, I would not have known. Do parents know? Do they know that these were taken out of school, that they're not being taught that? And I don't think that you have to be a parent that is, I wouldn't blame a parent if they didn't know at all. I wouldn't blame them, because it's like this was something done in a covert manner, And I don't know. I wouldn't blame them at all, like I said. But it's something that has been done to us, and it keeps people, I don't like the word ignorant of certain topics, but yeah, that's what it is. And so when they get older, here you can say conspiracy theory all you want. When they get older, they don't recognize what bosses are doing to them, say, or coworkers. You see? Okay, and for those of us who've studied cluster B, in the DSM, we know, you can have a job and, in a family, in a job, in anywhere, like there's a group of people, you can have the whole setup, You know, the boss who's the narcissistic boss. I have a video that I'm going to put up. I think I actually have it scheduled already to go public someday this week. But yeah, you know, you can have that boss that's and if you can't recognize the roles, you know, that you have a narcissistic boss, you have the golden child, you know, you have all these roles. Who's the scapegoat? In some jobs, not every job, of course, you know, but yeah. And some people, they just can't, you know, think about, they don't know to think this way. They don't know why do slackers get away with so much, you know, so much. I went through that, seeing how you know, if you're a bar raiser, they just put more work on you, and the slackers went around whenever they felt like working, they would. Seriously, that was awful. And they don't know how to think. You know, when a boss, I had this happen. A boss tell a group of us. Actually, it was somebody who told her, and then she told our boss, and then they had the boss and her supervisor told all of us, and some of us had been working in this field for a long time, and we said, no, that's illegal to do that. And no, it would go back on the company. No, it would go back on us. You know, we knew. I actually called the company, and they said, oh, no, we would not say to do that. This is BS. Okay, and people who haven't learned, you know, whether it was in high school or past then, to think critically. You know, to think, you know, that's not just what critical thinking is about, but to really sit there and not become paranoid. I'm not talking about being paranoid, but to really think about what are you being told? Are you sure this is how it is? And I've corrected bosses before because you're not putting me in that position that you're going to take my life, and I know this for a fact. I could go to prison because you're teaching me how to do something wrong. You're teaching me to make money for the corporation and not caring what happens to the employees, to the staff. Okay? But you have to know how to think, to be able to think this way, and to be able to take care of yourself, and to be able to stand up and walk away. Whatever it is you choose to do. You need to have the mentality. I can't think of the word. Don't use it. You lose it. Yeah. But you have to have the ability to do that. And they've taken that from these kids. I truly feel this way. Yeah, I could be wrong. But no, this is how I feel. They've taken it away from even, you know, teenagers, really. To start off their life knowing how to, you see, they might not go past high school. They might go to a university or college, and that university or college doesn't require it anymore. If they required a person have at least one or the other, psychology or sociology, at least I think 3 classes altogether, or humanities, whatever it was. I'm thinking Florida and Texas, but yeah, they require that. But do they anymore? I don't know, you know, because I'm not a student, so I don't know if they require it. But at some point you had to learn these things, how to think. And that was what, when I taught sociology, my students kept telling me, you know, you're making us think. You're making us think. And yeah, I was, you know, teaching them how to think, really, to process. So anyway, enough for this video, because I keep having coughing fits. Yeah, allergies. If you want to subscribe, click the circle. If you want to watch another video, pick one of the click on one of the rectangles. Whew. And if you want to give a thumbs up, give a thumbs up, and share if you want to. Talk to y'all later.